first and foremost, man, congratulations.
Thank you.
Congrats. The largest Universes tournament ever of all time, taken down by Jose Norono, a fairly new kid on the block. A lot of people see you as a veteran, but you are newer than a lot of people who were playing in that tournament, and doing well at it. And so
It's tough, man. I want to consider myself like a new guy, but I can't. It's been like what, 2.5 years at this point. I cannot call myself, hey, I'm also new, with like a straight face, because I'm lying.
Yeah. Because pre-interview, you use the words "fallen angels" in a reference to a card, and so you're an old head, man. Sorry about it. Sorry about it.
Dude. I'm out here like, remember Kuwabara? Yeah.
Oh, you mean Nomu, right? That's who you mean?
No.
No, but they had the same. They're the same guy. First off, man, thanks for taking some time to do the interview with me, a little more in depth than the interview that we had on the main stage. If you guys gonna want to go and watch Jose's run, the VOD for his stuff will be over on the main My Hero channel for the next couple weeks. It could possibly be on YouTube. I'm not positive how that process works, but big maybes. So first and foremost, for everybody out there who doesn't know, right? You're kind of one of the more I'll use the word infamous members of the community. Tell the good people who's Jose, who's Josie.
Yeah.
Tell them.
Yeah, some people are infamous in the community for bad reasons. I like to think that I'm infamous for good reasons.
True. True.
I troll a lot of people, but with good heart.
Right.
In good earnest. I'm Jose. I'm from Venezuela. English is my second language. I've been here in this country for like 6 years by now, and I started playing Universes almost 2.5 years ago when I first met Bromley and the bunch, and I fell in love with Yu Yu Hakusho the set, and then I fell in love with the people I was playing with, so I started playing the game, and it was a lot of fun. It's in my nature to just joke all the time. It is very hard for me to stay serious. I am not kidding. It's a bit of a problem. So whenever it comes to time to engage with the community, I just end up being a meme lord, which it's fine as long as you accept it.
For sure.
Yeah.
I think officially
that's might have seen me.
You have to be an old head because your story mimics every old head ever, right? I fell in love with this super small IP in this super small card game, and I stayed because of the community, which is not a thing that a lot of people can say for My Hero. I mean, everybody loves this absolutely massive machine that is My Hero. We all love My Hero, right? And then they'll learn to love the community eventually, but like 2.5 years under your belt is it's where it's at. So
before you go, it's funny, Tam. A lot of people when I play them online, they're like, "I know you. You're the guy who did the meme guy," and it's like, "Yes. How are you?"
Yes, hello. That's me, Jose the meme guy. I bet that's a fun moniker, right? Like it's fun to be known as somebody who's jovial and exciting and lighthearted.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah, I know. We've had some backstage conversations about like the concepts of heels and faces in the community, and for everybody out there who doesn't understand the reference, basically it's kind of like a wrestling term where like a face is somebody that you root for, a hero who puts on a good face for the community, and then a heel is like a villain, somebody you root against, not terribly bad people, but kind of jerks. And you
someone
said
that you like to see lose, right?
Right. Yes. And you said you want to be a heel, but like it's just not possible, man.
It just can't happen.
You're too much of a face.
I have to accept that. So it's like the underdog is easy to root for, but it's also easy to root for the person that you think is going to be funny if they win. So I think that's gonna be my niche.
I love that.
The rest of the time.
I love that spot. So you've talked about Yu Yu Hakusho and how you got in, but I wanna shy away from standard a little bit because this is a kind of a My Hero thing. Tell me, you jumped into My Hero having a little bit of Universes knowledge. What were your thoughts leading up to these My Hero events? Because you have not put up stellar results. I mean, better than most, but not like incredibly topping every provisional before this. Well, hit me with your before regional timeline of like what you're playing, what you're thinking, what your thoughts on the meta were, so on and so forth.
Yeah, I mean, well, like when the set first came out, Bromley and I, we studied the card pool just like by virtue of practicing a bunch of games on TTS, so we were familiar with a lot of the cards. and we started just like figuring things out. Like, Air Giro is very fun and cool. I fell in love with Kamui immediately for obvious reasons, right?
Yeah, yeah,
The Woodman with the leaf shield and the minus damage.
right.
I love DR. If anybody, I love DR. It's my favorite thing to do next to just D building.
Why
So
so? Why so?
I don't know what it is. I think there's a lot of specifically DR that helps you later in the turn. So it's like I blocked with my entire hand, and now I'm open, but I'm not open because your next move comes in with -10. I think is
Yeah,
the idea. I like the idea because like DR helps you sculpt better. It helps you like just like, take hits to the chin and just like still be able to like just push through. And that's why I really enjoy characters that are able to just take small hits to the chin where they would be vulnerable otherwise. And that's why I really fell in love with Kamui Woods when I first started playing my hero.
hmm
He was the character I was just repping all the way through because he had access to a lot of great defensive tricks when it
right.
came to damage reduction, good blocking, and then punishing you for blocking his stuff, right? He was the anti-string character,
hmm
and we felt that strings were just very good in the current version of the game. Of course,
For
that becomes a
set one, or do you still feel that way now?
for set one. Turns out that was a bit of a miss because Kirishima existed,
Right.
and Kirishima had long strings, but the end of the string was a tape swing that got plus ultra, so it was a little tougher.
hmm
And uh, even despite having access to things like Walkling, Akamui Woods was still very hard to beat Kirishima with because he he punished you so hard for blocking that early move that you were forced to just take the hit, and then your entire game plan was just like off color.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
And having only 20 health with makes sense because he's a DR character, right? But like
yeah,
taking that 5-6 damage hit at the very beginning, like kind of puts you in, in an uncomfortable position for the rest of the turn, if not rest of the game. So yeah,
yeah.
I agree with that.
But when it came to the regionals, things started evolving, and like the meta ebbs and flows.
hmm
I really loved playing Shigaraki, but he is so hard to actually play. Like,
Agreed.
I believe that Shigaraki has a great matchup right now because the meta is so much seven-handers, and Shigaraki eats seven-handers alive
For sure.
if he can outplay them. If
Right.
he can't, he sucks.
Right. 100%.
Like Shigaraki is, if he starts winning, he wins. If he starts losing, it's so hard to get back up. Like against Asui specifically, Shigaraki can just blow up your two ready cards, your two face-up cards, and now your turn is you cannot extend that much further.
hmm
And if he touches Asui twice, she's dead. So
Right.
it is that kind of thing. And I think that maybe with set two, Shigaraki becomes a little bit better. But as we came to the regional, I wanted to play a water defense character because putting a tiny bit of standard back in. Water defense is one of my favorite genders. It it just like I fell in love with the ability Water had to just make your opponent really sad and just disrupt everything they've ever wanted to do with their life. And my hero gave Water defense damage reduction. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, you get creep
Whoa.
realization. So I wanted to.
Actually, a
I'm
crazy
gonna
card.
play. Yeah, I'm gonna play Water defense. That's what I'm
Yeah.
gonna do. I'm gonna play Walkling. I'm gonna play Creepy, and I'm gonna kill people with Tongue Whip. That's the reason I wasn't playing Water when the set first came out. Is because I thought this isn't a real symbol until Tongue Whip comes out.
Ooh. Okay. Okay. I can
Yeah,
respect that. I can respect
yeah,
that.
Tongue Whip changes the game completely. And so when Tongue Whip came out, I wanted to play Water Kamui, and I realized something very important. Kamui sucks against Asui.
Yeah.
It's so bad. You have no idea. People think, oh, you just DR her moves, her last attack is for nothing. You cannot DR her moves because they all have +2 speed.
Correct. 100%.
And Kamui is much worse at defending against Asui than Asui is because Asui is able to kick cards from her card pool, and some of those cards do things when they leave the card pool.
Right. Like your favorite.
So
Like your favorite.
yeah, so I took the L and I accepted. You know what? Sam is still wrong, but I think Asui is the better starting character for this symbol, for this archetype right now. Um, and yeah, the reason I started playing Asui since like uh, 3 provisionals ago is because Brumley, he was discussing, hey, okay, so what's the best Asui deck we can build? And we built it. And that it is gonna come into the question Elysian asked, which is, he originally said, I don't want to play Crow and Frog, but I think we have to. The card is too good. And I told him, I think Crow and Frog sucks. I think it's good in
Go on.
Tokoyami.
Go on.
I think it's good in Tokoyami, and I think it's good in other aggro characters like All Might and whatever, right?
hmm
Because it's a card that doesn't count towards progressive.
Right.
But you know who doesn't care about things counting towards progressive? the
frog.
character that's gonna kick the card from the card pool.
Right.
And what is current frog for? Well, it readies your offensive tricks. It readies the cards that you're gonna get to reuse later. And it's like, okay, what if? But think about this. Current frog readies the thing during this attack.
Right.
Frog kick readies the thing during a better attack that actually does something.
Right.
So it is the thing of, this thing will ready my first villain encounter during this attack that is a little meaningless, but frog kick is going to do it during a tongue whip, or during another frog kick, or during a frog lashing. It is actually just physically better.
Yeah.
And most importantly, frog kick is a defensive trick. We have the offense figured out. Just draw 6 attacks. Okay, fine, whatever. But how do we live through people? We have to ready creepy. We have to ready our walkling that Denki committed with his enhance. We have to we have to be able to give them something that they were not expecting, which is a trick from the hand. It is the same kind of concept behind precise blow blocking. It's like, you thought you had me, but now you have to deal with this thing I'm putting down. It's the same reason why I really like Cheerful Uppercut in set 2. Because it is disruption from the hand that they cannot really see coming in a game where all of the disruption is almost always available on the table.
Yeah, when you break it down that way, like the only thing that Chrono Frog has going for it is it's essentially you get to use your character without flipping the foundation. So you can extend a little bit harder, but like
if you check good,
right? But 6 different attacks still get you there. So like you don't necessarily need this one. I completely agree. The other big confrontational question was Plus Ultra. You said on your interview on the main stage that you don't like Plus Ultra, that Plus Ultra is a bad card. Do you want to reiterate or expand upon that thought now? Like, normally we save questions to the end, but like it's here, it's organic.
No, we're talking about my thought process behind the deck building.
Right.
Yeah. So if your opponent is playing a bunch of mids, or if their lethal attack is a mid attack, like Detroit Smash, Plus Ultra is unfair. It just is.
True.
However, if you have seen the news lately, people are going highs and lows.
Right.
That kill you. A very fast low, like a reciprocal burst is, you want to block with Plus Ultra, but I'm gonna take half, and your opponent can just make it lethal on partial. And something like Ruin is gonna come in for like 15 as the first attack for no reason, and you gotta block it on the partial. Yeah. And unless I firmly believe that Plus Ultra is only a fitting defensive trick in 3 situations. 1, you are expecting to run into mid decks the entire day.
Okay.
Unlikely.
Right.
The only decks that are good that co-wall mid is like Bromley's Staff Strike Giro and like Detroit Smash, Go Ham, something. So that's a no. And the second is you have access to mainboard tape and mainboard walkling, because then it's no longer a partial block.
Right, that makes sense.
But even then, I kept running into situations where I had a Pulse Ultra in my hand, and my defensive tricks on water were good enough that I didn't need it.
Yeah, it felt like there was enough to mitigate using other tools, right? Because your symbol also has access to some of the best speed reduction in the entire game, right? So like resetting a thing back to speed and doing a 5 block 2 cards into your card pool is sometimes a hindrance, but double rescue completed and a singular gotcha. I mean, there's your 5 speed there, huh?
Yeah. So it ended up being a situation where I don't want to main this card anymore, because like the offensive doubling is fine, but what if it just was another attack, or what if it was a better foundation? Right. I don't want to just be stuck with a Plus Ultra in my hand. So Bromley came up with the idea of, I'm just gonna main this Momo and it's gonna be funny. And I was like, hey, that is pretty cool. I like that. It's a +0 block. It works on everything. Then I'm like, I'm trying to fit my sideboard with these giant ice walls, and I can't. I'm at 11 cards. And I go, wait, what if I just main the Conway?
The buddy block?
The body block. What if I just body block people? And it's going to be funny. If I thought if I top, it's going to be hilarious. People are going to be like, what is this man doing? And second of all, it freed up a spot that I needed. So that is the concept behind my dislike for Plus Ultra and my dislike for Crow and Frog.
I think my favorite thing about the 2 points that you brought up there is the order that you did it. Point number 1 is that it's going to be funny. It doesn't matter that it's good. It's gotta be humorous. And then point number 2, I think it's a good idea. A more serious player would have definitely switched those. It's a really good idea, and sometimes it'll get a giggle. No, it's gonna get a giggle every time.
Every time.
I love that. I love that. So going into the regional, right? Jose sits down across from his round one opponent. What are they playing? And then what do you think? You don't have to get into specifics. Just like what can you remember from round one, round
No,
two, round three?
I remember exactly. My day began with two Ceros. And I don't know if you know this, but Cero is terrifying if you have 20 health.
For sure. Yeah.
Scary stuff. And Cero is terrifying because they have a secret ability that says you can't turn to me. You just can't. If it looks like I'm gonna die, I'm gonna block it. I'm gonna say, all right, I'll buy. What are you selling?
You're the door-to-door knife salesman. That's so funny.
And you're like, fine, I got another lash, and they're like, yeah, get it out of here.
No.
I had to poke him, right, and poking him is how I whittled him down. And I mostly ran into a situation that is, please don't play, please do not play tape swing against me. Please, I don't want it. I don't want it really bad. And like against Arrow, it is literally I have to live for as long as I can and just try to backswing him. And thankfully, I was able to do that. There was a situation where I was poking I poked with a tongue whip. My opponent blocked it and says, "I want to look at your hand." And my hand was two tongue whips, two more tongue whips, which is scary.
Right.
A wall cling and other foundations. And he went, I want to hit you next turn, so I'm taking out the wall cling. And I go, okay. Tongue whip. He takes 17. I pop self-assured, draw 2, build the rest of my hand, and hold the 2 unknowns.
That's awesome. Whoa, what a heads-up play. What a crazy play.
You can let him have the info. He sent a tape swing for 10 against me, and I'm like, listen, I would like to block this, but you're going to draw 2, so I'll take 10.
Yes. Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy. I'm not positive that there's a scarier deck or a deck that feels more unfair than a Cero that draws 1 tape swing, turns 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because he's just like, what are you gonna do about it, huh?
The man's huge. What can I say, right?
Yeah. Even Nomu's like dabbing his wrist, like, excuse me? Yeah. It's some good stuff. So first 2 rounds, you're weaving around Ceros.
Double Cero.
Yeah. Round three. What happens?
This is where it starts getting blurry.
2-0, correct?
9 rounds. Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
What was your ending record? So I don't have to keep asking.
8-0-1.
8-0-1. You took the tie in the last round?
I took the tie in the last round because I looked down and I realized that I was the only undefeated. So there was no point in playing it.
Okay. Yeah, sure. I mean, you won, right? You won the day. You don't gotta prove it. So round 3, round 4, or maybe if you remember like what matchups you might have played, we can go a little out of order. Hey, you won them all.
Yeah.
You won them all.
Yeah, thank you. We're gonna go a little out of order. I played against Hasid Ramos, he's Mullet Man in the Discord. He was playing Ochako 2, and Ochako 2 is a scary deck.
Yeah.
Extremely terrifying. Because they can kill you with 1 move. It's crazy.
Yeah. So 1 Gale Force represents 17 damage, which is and being put to 3 sucks.
they have 33 health, so it's a little hard to whittle them down.
Right.
In locals, in practice, I have been able to turn 2 on Ochako 2, but it's only because I drew hot and they built out. It was literally a situation of at the end of my turn, these lashings are 10 damage.
Right.
That usually doesn't happen if they hold like a good block in their hand. And as it turns out, high difficulty moves block good. Crazy. Yeah, but it was a very fun match because I got to show off the body block. I got to show my opponent, who was very nice. They were very jovial. I got a block with Kamui, and we all do whoa. It was very funny. It was like a big move for big speed, and bow.
He said no, thank you. I love that. How many Gale Force punches did you run into? Because I'm sure popping like wall clings would be really annoying.
Game 1 was tragic. He checked all 3 of them. He checked all 3 Gale Force punches game 1. It was very tragic. He still was punching me every turn. To be fair, because he was using his pluses to checks very effectively. But it was there's Gale Force. There's Gale Force. There's Gale Force.
Yeah, that's gotta be heartbreaking, right? It's actually the most powerful move in your deck. Yeah.
And Ochako 2 does leverage one of the weaknesses that I talked about, which is stun. They have access to Pillar Swing and Turn to Dust, which are 2 stun moves, and if they get to replay them, you're in a very tough spot.
True.
Yeah.
So we take down Ochako, moving on. I want to say that we saw one of your matches on stream.
You did. The biggest surprise of the day. My one of the most fun matches I had, and just like a shock to me, was when I paired up. Okay, so here's the picture, right? It's round 7. I am 6-0.
Yeah.
So I'm here thinking, okay, I'm gonna have to run into just a bunch of the most represented decks probably. Maybe a Shigaraki that's been wrecking people, and I get paired up against a person who's like, "Oh, you're Jose. We were just talking about you," and it was like, "Oh, why?" He's friends with Jacob. He's friends with Jacob Masur.
Yeah, big shout outs. Big shout outs. Final Round Gaming.
Yeah, he was memeing up about the body blocks that people found out were in my deck. And he flips his character, and it's Shoji.
Yeah. Shoji.
And that match is on stream. It's Shoji.
Yeah.
This absolute monster of a man brought Shoji to a 6-0 finish.
Crazy.
What a king.
But like,
honestly.
claps in chat.
Yeah.
That is literally. I said it on commentary. No, on nobody's bingo card. Nobody would have scored bingo that day. It's like Shoji.
And I honestly think that he could have done a lot better if he hadn't matched up what I think is the worst matchup for his type of deck. I generally believe that the life symbol and ambush deck just hates being paired up against the water symbol, and specifically Asui. Because what's my deck comprised of? 7+1 high blocks.
Yeah.
What else is in my deck? Sticky balls, one of the very few anti-combo cards in the game.
Right.
What can my deck do? 28 damage. So it is just an all-around no bueno. And also, we have Creepy Realization. At the end of their chain, they're on like the 5th meteor. It's coming in with -6 damage. What are they going to do?
Cry. Commit their character for +2 damage. Yes!
Got him. But that match was a lot of fun. It was very jovial. I got to hit him with the Kamui Save Me as I blocked like a lashing that I make mid.
Yeah. There was that, and I want to say that he sided in Amina as well, which might have been part of that success, right?
Yeah, he sided into Amina because he said he wanted to show it off for a stream. But
love that.
I don't think that that's a good idea. I think what he was doing with Shoji was more effective against Asui because he had a thicker body. He was healing. 20 is very easy for me to do.
Right.
Sadly, against the life symbol specifically,
Yeah.
because the biggest weakness of the life symbol is that they love the number +3 on their cards, and it's not +3 damage. It's +3 block.
Right. Right.
So these 6-speed moves are just not easy to block for them.
That is true.
Yeah.
So, we start to finish out our day. Are there any other in rounds decks that were incredibly memorable?
I played against Disaster Dan. I was like, yo, that's crazy. There's 2 All Might 2s, and you are like all the way over here. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And
I love this deck. I thought his deck was super,
I saw his deck
good.
on stream round 1, and I thought it was really cool. It was just like punching you. It's taking advantage of the fact that people don't want to block the first attack to just greed you out with the instant explosive release. Which, I don't know if I got to say this on stream, but that sided out against me. I am not letting that resolve ever.
Ever.
I stream saw it. I will literally walkling block with a +3 block just to not let you have instant explosive release. I will do anything in my power to stop you from having fun.
I mean, hey, you're putting the water symbol, obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're stopping people from having fun, Jose.
Yeah, but we have a nice jovial time, and we start to play our game, and I killed him turn 2.
Okay.
Because my opening hand was 3 frog lashings. It was like, okay, that was a little bit of a variable. Okay, let's try game 2. He is dead in 18 minutes.
Huh.
And we're just kind of sitting there like, well, I'm sorry.
Hey, you're welcome. I gave you my lunch break. Yeah, go get some food. Prep for the rest of them.
Let's go get some food. I'm trying to give you good tiebreakers. And thankfully we did.
You gave him the best tiebreakers, actually.
Yeah, Disaster Dan one's in there in the top 16.
Yeah.
He had a very hard day. He fought against Wesley, who was also at table 1 during the last round, and against me.
Crazy. Man, Wesley was running so hot all day. I think we ended up watching 3 of his games throughout the entire tournament, and it was literally like turn 1 like build 3, and then turn 2 do 35.
Right?
we was like, there's not much to say.
Right?
He drew 5 attacks and nobody blocked the first one. What a bunch of dummies.
Yeah, Jiro, am I right?
Yeah. So we end up Swiss champ. We go for the ID. We go for the tie last round because we know we're going to be Swiss champ. You get on the mic, you said some really nice, wholesome things. Yo, I'm just happy to be here. If I lose out round 1, I know I'm the king of everything. Obviously, I'm going to win the whole tournament, but I got to be nice on camera. I mean, you can spill the beans here, right? You win Swiss champ, you're like, I'm taking the whole thing down, right? You had to be the face for the camera, but over here on the real channel, you speak your mind. You know you're winning, right? You know what's happening.
I felt that I was at least getting to top 8 after I saw the bracket for one particular reason.
Okay.
And that is, Life Ochako has a very, very hard time against the water symbol.
True.
For the same reason Shoji has a hard time against water Asui. So I thought, and with me going first, I knew it was going to be an uphill battle. So I thought I could get that one, but I was still like, if I lose, I don't really mind.
Okay, I mean, it's a good mentality to have, right? Of like, I've made it this far. I've stamped my name on this tournament. Everything else is icing on the cake. It's just more. It's slightly bit more prizing to go, but you know, we're putting our name. We've stamped in history, right?
Yeah, my goal was, if I can get that Switch, it would be pretty cool. You know, I was gonna say, hey, like I got this Switch from playing card games. Isn't that cool? You know?
Yeah. So we go into top 16. Obviously, we're feeling confident going in the Ochako match. How does the matchup go? Exactly how you suspected? Any trick ups happening on their end?
Almost exactly as I suspected. Game 1, I managed to just be very defensive and just take a couple hits that I don't really need to block, and then just like, you know, string him out. Game 2, he goes for the sickest turn I've ever seen in my life. So let me give you the prep. I'm not drawing enough attacks to stop him from playing the game, so I'm just defending to stop him from playing the game. You know, the usual. I am 16 cards into deadlock at this point. You know, it was like I'm on 16 foundations or something crazy because he doesn't have any deadlock threats that I see.
Right.
He just never drew first villain, and the moment he did, I was going to blow up the world to get me out of deadlock.
Hit the panic button. I love it.
Yeah. It goes into his turn. There's one card on top of my deck, and he goes, "You're about to cycle." My turn. I have 2 attacks and 5 foundations in my hand, so I built one and pass. And he figures out that my hand is all foundations. So all he does is he sends a meteor shower, forces me to cycle, and pass his turn. He does not overextend. He does not overextend because he says, if I overextend when you cycle, you get to block with your hand, have only the cards you want, and then you draw hot and kill me.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to poke. No, he pokes with a throw, with the Zero Gravity Lift.
Mm-hmm.
He sends it to his momentum and he passes.
So he's holding 5, the ability to pick one up with Ochako, versus you having, what, 4 or 5 foundations?
Yeah, and he has 2 Gravity Lifts in his momentum. So it goes to my turn, I like poke him, I build, and I pass. And now he has 2 throws in his momentum. And in his hand, he's like a meteor shower, three meteors, and discard pile and an ambush. And he goes for what I can only describe as the longest Ochako turn of all time. Yeah, he goes like meteor. Send it to momentum, lashing, gravity lift, send it to momentum. Another attack. Don't send it to momentum. Ambush, send this to momentum. Gravity lift, send this to momentum. Meteor. And it is very cool. He's just going all around. He did like 5 damage, but it was very cool. I swear.
He did 5 damage, but it was cool.
It was extremely neat. He would have killed, I'm sure, most other decks. It could probably kill a 5-hander in that turn.
Right. Yeah. What you're describing is like watching professional Marvel vs. Capcom players, right? They're just pressing every button on the thing, and they get 20 damage through.
The man went X Factor. It was crazy.
yeah. Berserker Barrage. That's awesome. But like you knew the matchup, you knew when to push, you knew when to hold. I mean, expert playing, and it's really fun to see because like Ochako, I mean, that's not really what Ochako wants to do, right? Ochako doesn't want to poke. Ochako wants to just slam these cards. She gets a free attack. She gets to clear the card pool. So really cool to see some timid, controlled play. That's the Ochako I like to play, right? That's the Ochako that I play, and I go 5-3 at every event. So I'm happy. He got to live the dream.
Yeah, he did it. I congratulated him on having a tough enough day that he got into top 16. You know, not everybody gets to do that under his record.
So we move on to top 8. We get a couple more promos. Who are we fighting? Who are we playing against? What character?
We are playing against Ochako 2, under the air symbol in
Mm.
the scariest match of my life. This is the hardest match of the entire top cuts for me.
Okay. Okay.
Because he breaks serve. Turn three, he plays a couple attacks, then he plays a couple attacks, stuns me out completely, and then he goes, indiscriminate chuck, 10 damage, indiscriminate chuck, 10 damage, and I have 20 health. So I'm dead. We got to get. Yeah, it was just a case of I checked poorly, and I was just not prepared to deal with his actual offensive turn.
Right.
And
It was
then I
this was Neto, correct? If you remember,
yes,
I
yeah,
think
Arrow Taco too.
yes.
Yeah,
I believe that's true. He was a fan favorite to actually win the whole thing. Chat was
yeah.
popping off for this guy. Apparently
He's very nice. He was very jovial. Yeah.
yeah. It was
Um,
fan favorite. I am I would love to know your thoughts on the difference between the matchup for Arrow Chaco 2 versus Death Chaco 2, which you fought earlier in the day.
yeah.
Hey, take your time. Chat, if you guys want to start queuing up questions, hey, it's me. Oh, hello. Chat, if you guys want to start queuing up questions, I will do my best to save them into another tab. I saw some go, but if you could just repeat the questions so they're all a little more condensed, that would be rad. So what I was hearing is I should have stayed as Evil Shoji. Maybe.
Yeah. Sorry, Tam. My mom's a little bit under the weather, so she wanted to ask me something.
You're all good, buddy. You're all good. Do you need to go?
No. I'm
Okay.
good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the question was the difference between air and death.
Yeah, I told him what I felt the differences was. I think his version of the deck is less greedy.
Okay.
Under the sea, it's safer, sacrificing explosiveness. If that makes sense, because I feel like the death version of the deck is able to just blow up your defensive foundations and kill you through just these big six difficulty moves that they get to replay, and they debuild you and they stun you out, and then they have access to evil gaze and all these damage pumps. While the air version, it is running on some kind of like a bit of more safety threes, and their kill condition is indiscriminate shock.
Okay.
But it's only indiscriminate shock.
Right.
That deck doesn't really get to kill most characters with any other card, so it's easier to prepare for it.
Okay. So like holding a really solid low block is the game plan versus the arrow deck, where holding Kamui Woods, your favorite character in the whole wide world, is better versus death.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have a tight hard game versus in top 8. We push on to top 4, and then it's Jiro, right?
It's Jiro, that's right.
Yeah, I think this is another match that we ended up watching on stream.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I gotta say, some of the tightest, best My Hero that I've seen ever. Honestly, from every game that I've played or watched, could be in like a top 5 of like how good that match was.
And some of the least tight math you've ever seen.
Yeah, you correct. Yeah, a little loose play, but like the concepts and ideas that were happening inside of the game, like from my perspective, right? It was, I want to say, game 3, and Wesley was building out. I think he lost. No, he won game 2, right? Because you whiffed a block. Kind of, and he built out 4, and the last one was a release, and he's got 2 cards left in hand. I think maybe
he
3.
Builds 5. He builds 2 releases.
Right. Well, he sits there and he waits on the second release, and he actually sits in the tank for an entire 2 minutes of, do I build a 0/4 high block versus Asui? He sits there and he's thinking, and I can see him shaking of, this is the form that could change the course of the game, and he opts to go for it, and you kill him. Yeah, it was it was rad.
I want to say that I have 5 attacks in my hand, which is not what I really wanted to see in that position. It's a blessing and a curse, because it's not like I have 5 attacks and it's like, oh yeah, 3 tongue whips, 2 lashing. It was 5 attacks and it was 2 frog kicks, 2 tongue whip, which was I think what the lifesaver was there, and a lashing.
Hmm.
which is still a very good combination of cards, but it's not the combination of cards that tells me this man is dead.
Right.
It's what tells me this man is maybe dead.
Ooh,
So I'm thinking
I
I'm
hate that
going to
word.
poke him. I'm going to see what happens, and we'll get it through. So I poke him with a frog kick. I attack another time to just get value out of my turn, and I see him use concentrate.
Which
Yeah,
is
concentrate. It's a
the
+1
action,
low
right?
block. It's a +1 low block action that
Hmm.
says if you've taken damage this turn, get a momentum.
Okay.
And he has one card in hand. And this tells me two things. One, he has whatever is in his hand uses momentum, and two, he wants to kill me. But yeah. So these are the two things that it tells me.
Right, right, right.
And I know for a fact that there is no card in his deck that uses momentum that's a high block.
Yeah. Yeah, you've got what? Home Run Comet, you've got Specialized Sound Waves.
Great
Yeah.
blocks, mind you. They're
Yeah.
just mid. And
They're
he
just
built
mid.
two releases, and he used that card in his hand. I don't want to call it greedy because it's guaranteeing that he has a momentum for his backswing turn after I've attacked him.
Yeah, he made
But
he
I
made a read,
go,
right? Like
he made a read.
I think it's a fine
Yeah.
play. I mean, if the infinite universe theory exists, 50% of the time he wasn't
Yeah.
dead, right?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm using first villain encounter to give my kicks +1/+1 to just like get a little bit more damage in. It ends
Uh-huh.
up giving me a total of +2/+2 across the whole turn because reading it with frog kick.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, so I can send a lashing for 10, and he is at 10, and this is going to give me all of the information that I need. If he partials this, he's dead, because I have a tongue whip in my hand that comes in for 7.
Right. Yeah.
So I send it. He doesn't use release. During this whole turn, I'm trying to do two things. I'm trying to get that card out of his hand, and I'm trying to get him to destroy foundations with release.
Right.
Because whatever he's holding, it's gotta be good because he does not want to block with it.
Wow. 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 Wow.
Yeah. So I sent him. I sent it the chat was like, wait, he made his frog lashing mid. No, that card has two effects. One of them does nothing. It says flip me, for no effect. Little known fact.
Yeah. Enhance flip : your this mid attack is -2 speed. If it's not a mid, then we just paid cost.
We just paid cost. Yeah. I flipped the I flipped the wall cling, and I was watching the VOD, and you said, okay, that tells me something. This man wants this guy dead.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You
Looking
smelled
for 10.
blood in the water for sure on that turn,
Yeah.
and your state of play or your lines in decision making was like, yo, I want this guy dead, and his lines were the exact same, but it just wasn't his turn to do so,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
his line of like, yo, I'm not destroying any of these foundations for release. I'm going down to one card in my hand. You made the observation that it has to use momentum, right? Which means it's one of two kill cards, either the setup for the kill card or the kill card itself being the comet.
Yeah.
And so really showcasing high level play, and not the card text, but the way that your guys are I'm gonna use the words that I've used in a Tan Talk before, how you are reading each other's tactics and strategies as opposed to just reading the individual cards. You're looking at the entire board state and being like, this is his intention for the game, as opposed to herp derp, he played a card.
Yeah, and a lot of it comes to knowing your opponent's deck. Not because you've seen it before, but because it just comes from experience playing a lot of games. And, this is an advantage that it's a lot harder to get in standard than it is in My Hero. Because if you've played against, if you've played against Air Zero before, you know exactly what they got.
Yeah,
You
sure.
know the cards that you have to look out for. And I almost entirely knew every card in this deck by that point.
Yeah.
So,
And that's going to get harder as sets go on, right? But especially in the set 1 meta, I think a lot of the success is going to be, yo, I know exactly the options that you have, which is a skill that you're going to need for set 2 and beyond, chat. But it's going to get a little more niche, and you can catch people with some more surprising techniques rather than the bread and butter that we got in set 1. So you clutch out game 3, right? Because he gets one game because of a misread, misnumbered block. Happens to the best of us.
Soul is thinking this game state is irreparable, and I go, no, it's easily repairable. I'm dead.
Yeah, we'll just go through it, right? So
Yeah.
game two, Wesley's putting out this crazy big combo, and you have a check a 5 to live situation. You misread the numbers on the card. You know, we're
Yeah.
playing on webcam. You think it's slower than it is. You go
Yeah. Yeah.
for the
Yeah.
block, check a 4, and then commit out, and then he ends his turn, and you start to swing back on him.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I know that there's a 4 on top of my deck because of Jiro, and if I remember that that's a 4 high as opposed to a 3 high, I
Mhm.
would have like failed block with something that I didn't need to get the 4 out to see if I took a 5 on the next one.
Right.
Was my thought, but I was like, no, I have a 4 up top, which means I blocked this on a
Yeah.
six.
The math makes sense in your head, right?
Yeah.
Which happens, right? I mean, you've been playing for what,
Yeah.
15 hours at this point? Yeah, having one small misstep like this is totally chill. And then we get into finals. We go to finals.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the mirror match, a thing we don't normally see in universes. Atsui versus Asui, and the previous day you said it was the only matchup you didn't want to fight.
Correct.
Yeah. So tell me, what are you thinking as you go into the match? The one thing you didn't want. What's your mental game like?
At least I'm going first.
What a great answer! What a great answer!
At the end of the day, I went second a lot on day one, Tam. I went second a lot. I lost a lot of die rolls, but I earned the right to go first. So I'm gonna use it. Dang it!
This is mine. I deserve this. Hell yeah! Hell
so
yeah!
I feel at least I'm going to be able to try to out tempo my opponent. I am going to be the athlete that goes first. You know, I get to decide who aggresses first, who blocks a little better.
Right. So
Yeah.
as you take us off into game one, is there anything in particular inside of this match that's like really memorable or stand out to you?
One of the things is it happened when I played another mirror on day one, which was against Andrew Duvall. He also topped.
A Dragon Ball Super World Champion, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
Yes. Refuses to play with the playmat.
Like that.
Yeah, refuses to play with the playmat.
Yeah, a monster.
A monster.
And he did something.
Clip it, ship it.
He did something that James also did, which is he didn't look at my discard pile when he went for the sticky balls.
Yes.
Yeah. In Andrew's case, it was a lot worse because the top card of my discard pile was a frog kick.
Ooh.
So
yikes.
It was a little rougher in that one. But
I think that interaction
yeah.
with sticky balls and range cards on top is really cool. It's actually part of the reason why I wanted to take All Might 2 to this event, because anytime that I found a nitro explosion on top of my deck, I would just jam it in and be like, no, you don't get to do it.
Yeah. So it's something that I'm always paying attention to because I know that it doesn't work as well as I want it to.
Right.
And that's why if it ever feels like I'm not going for sticky balls, is because they have an attack on top. And oftentimes, if you do not use sticky balls on if they don't check a 5 on the first attack, you are just not allowed to use sticky balls for the rest of the game, the rest of the turn, because the top card of the discard pile is always going to be the attack to just kick.
Correct.
No matter what.
If they're playing correctly, right? If they're playing really heads up, if they're greedy and they play some other ability first, then you maybe get to punish them a little bit. But really get heads up, and that's understanding. That's playing the matchup so much that like you understand what's coming inside of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is just an Asui matchup where we try to defend each other. We get our card pools clogged. He realizes a little late that he's in trouble, doesn't clear the ambush, and the tongue whip gets him.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that match looks incredibly different if he's able to understand that he's you are threatening game like 1-2 turns earlier, and he does something a little maybe not smarter but safer on defense. I think that you have to pump your brakes and you don't get there that turn, and he gets a fresh 7 cards to swing back at you with, and it could have been a totally different interview that I'm doing here today.
Yeah. And game 2 he builds an insanely good defensive board, but I am able to push through it just thanks to him blocking a move a little early on and frozen basically.
Yeah. Love that. Love that. Frozen coming in clutch. I didn't see that pretty much at all. Was that main boarded for you?
Oh no, you have to main 2 Frozen. That card is nuts.
Yeah, I think that was pretty good.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of the time you will be pressuring, and if they block things, they will leave their important foundations up near the end of the turn, and that's when you're able to, push Frozen to finally have them tap for the last attack that matters.
Right.
And against a deck that does not have good deadlock threats, you build the 15, and you just every attack has stun 1, easy.
Right. Correct. Yeah. I mean, that's good enough, right?
Yeah.
So we end up taking the whole thing. We win the finals 2-0. I said it in the interview, and I think I'll say it again here today. I do think that the better player won in the finals. I think that your opponent did not quite have the mental gymnastics that you did and understand the matchup to its best. Right, these small little things that let you take your inches of advantage and turn them into miles. Right, things like kicking the ambush, things like not flipping the sticky balls incorrectly. And so big shout outs to him. Do you remember his name? My
James Mann.
James Mann. Thank you so much.
This is very funny. I pair against him every single tournament.
Yeah.
The only tournament where we did not pair up was this one. And I told him at the end of the day, we just can't miss each other. It just cannot happen.
And it didn't. So rivals, really, rivals.
No, he's a great guy. I think he's a great guy. He's very
What's your guys' record? Because we've played like what 4 or 5 events.
The first time we played was the very first Webcam Weekly where he was playing a Razorhead, and he was still a little newer, and I got to teach him a little bit of the nuances of a Razorhead into Conway Woods, which is a very bad matchup for a Razorhead.
Yeah, that's very bad.
Yeah, we're pretty even. We have like a tie. I have like a loss. I have like a win. It's
Okay. We love that. I mean, that's a great storyline.
Yeah.
I love that.
I remember after the first Webcam Weekly we played, he mentioned that his nephew really loved Osley, and he couldn't get any cards for him. And I was like, I have like 3 ambushes that I'm not gonna use. The 5-dip promo that adds a range to momentum.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, that's ambush. I'm not gonna use. I have like a lashing that I don't need. I'm just gonna send them to you. You can have them. And I'll let it come with Woods for just in case you feel like it.
So many Kami Woods. You're gonna want to main this one. It might win you a regional. I love it. Wow, Jose, actually the people's champ. So as we talk about post regional stuff, once again, congratulations, buddy. Chat, if you want to queue up some more questions, I got a couple questions from chat that we'll do. But I want to talk about next weekend Vegas set 2 thoughts as we push on to the future. You're not playing this upcoming weekend.
I don't think I think I will. My I think I just want to like relax, not dedicate all of the day to just playing.
Okay.
Maybe just watch, and things like that. Root for anybody that wants to play.
Like this guy.
Like that guy.
Like this guy.
Like that guy. Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Yeah, I'll see you in chat, buddy. I'm excited to have the people's champ supporting me from the stream. How do you feel about Vegas? What are you thinking? What are you prepping? I know I've asked this question before, and you kind of gave me like some halfway answers. Are you trying to keep your decks a secret, or what you're labbing? Like what are your thought process right now? Obviously, it can change for Vegas.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have very much secrets. I just don't know what exactly character I wanna like try to lab out. I have thoughts on like I think Death is very cool next set. I really like the cards that they get. I think figuring out someone that's good to put in front of how it's their impact cyclone is very neat. Like I'm thinking Shigaraki under Death becomes very, very playable now.
Right.
Because he's playable now, but he has just a lot of very just matchups that he just loses. And I think the Death symbol gives him access to a lot that makes him a lot better. Like, for example, using Bakugo's One Diff to pick up a Decaying Drip once again. Sorry, not Bakugo's One, Mina's One Diff, like struggling with studies.
Yeah.
To rebuy one of the breaker blocks or
right. Yo, I've got a sick combo for you for that actually. Half of the reason
speed hate.
I wanted to make this Bakugo 2 deck last night is because you can just enhance with double front beatdown and just put it in your card pool, and then flip struggling with studies and pick it right back up and be like, hey, you got another one? All right, that one's back to printed too. You don't have to make a check at all. You just do it.
And so I want to try Bakugo. I want to try Shigaraki. I want to try Mina under Water and Death. I think Mina's a lot of fun. I enjoy playing her. I love Cheerful Uppercut, so I want to try her under both of those symbols.
Okay,
I
I love
think
that.
Kamui with Fate's Shield is very strong.
Actually, yuck.
Yep,
Actually,
yeah,
yuck.
indeed, indeed.
Yeah.
You know, if you know me, you know I hate when people combo against me. How dare you? L ratio, you know.
L ratio, flip it. I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. So a question from the chat. How does Jose feel about pineapple on pizza?
I don't think I like pineapple as a whole. So
Okay.
we start off in a bad vibe right there. I like pineapple flavored things.
Okay. Okay. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. What is the first game that you're getting for your brand new Nintendo Switch trademarked?
I have a Switch
This is
already.
so this is a second one.
This is the second
This
Switch.
is your vacation Switch.
This is Switch 2.
Yeah,
Return
Switch.
of the King. Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. I'm into it. I'm into it.
But the first game I got on the Switch was Mario Odyssey.
Okay, that's a good one.
Does that count? It is funny. My Switch was the first thing I ever bought with like a paycheck with my first paycheck. Now that I think about it,
Oh,
it lined up like that.
that's
Yeah.
hype. That's hype. Yeah, we didn't even talk about the champion card. What are you doing with the champion card? Are you keeping it? Are you gonna Logan Paul and put it around your neck for Vegas?
No, we got to keep it. You know, I'm not keen on grading. I think it's dumb. But when you grade something and put it in this nice like case things, maybe that.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think that is. I mean, I think you're gonna have 50% of all of them in the entire world. So I'm not positive what the next championship one's gonna be, but like Vegas is the last opportunity to get one of these Detroit Smashes, and so I mean that's gotta feel great. It's gotta feel really good.
Yeah. Phil is right. My favorite pizza is cheese pizza, which he will tell you, Jose, that's just pizza.
Yeah, it is. It's just cheesy bread. That's just all cheese pizza.
No, not pizza with extra cheese. It's just, pizza with a normal amount of cheese. Just plain pizza.
Huh.
That's my favorite pizza.
A simple man. Disaster Dan says, how do you feel, Jose, not letting me play my nice All Might 2 deck against you? Just messing around. Congrats.
I'm sorry.
Black A Solo says, "Are you going to win the 1K in Florida? Are you planning on still traveling before Vegas? Is that a thought? I know you're taking a break this weekend. You take the break because you're the champ. You're the best. You're undeniably the best My Hero player in the world currently.
Thank you, Tim.
The reigning world champion.
There's a 1K in Florida.
There is a 1K in Florida. Yeah, Black A Solo. If you want to put information on that into my Discord, please feel free to. And talk to the main My Hero channel to get information. Yeah, there's a 1K happening in Florida with a shop. I think it'd be very cool to get support. If Vegas wasn't happening so close, I'd probably be flying down there for the 1K.
I mean, unless it's really close, I'm probably not going to. I'm on the process of moving.
Ooh. To Nebraska?
Yeah, you got it. I'm moving like 2 miles up into just like a house.
Oh, okay.
As opposed, yeah. There's a box over there that I'm gonna put all the billion books that I have in because nerds like books or something.
Nice. Chad, any more questions? It does not look like it. Well, man, congratulations again. Thank you so much for doing the interview. I'm so unbelievably proud of you. Are there any big shout outs that you want to give before we call this one a close?
I mean, how many times am I gonna have to shout out Bromley? He knows he's shouted out. He's had his fun. Shout outs to Phil, who taught me that even a lucky boy like me can be an animal sometimes.
Love that. Love that.
Yeah. Shout out to all the friends that put up memes when I kept not losing.
Right.
Shout outs to Tam for being impartial, even though he wished defeat upon me when Plus Ultra got used against me.
True. That is very true. I love it. All right, man. Well, I will not take any more of your time. Once again, I do appreciate you being here, and you have a good rest of your day. Okay, buddy.
You too.
All right. We'll see you.
Catch you on the chat.
All right. We have one more.